Yo, good morning, good afternoon, or you should be asleep right now, just like me, but you chose to click on an original Grown Bee video, and that's what I thank you for. Man, there were quite a few different topics I was thinking about throwing out for this video. I was thinking about doing something about high definition and how it's become a big part of YouTube. I got a video that I know I want to do called a good player versus a dangerous player, because I feel like there's a difference in that. And then I got kind of pissed off at myself. And I'm like, original Grown Bee, you have not done an episode of What's Dumber in too long. And you know that bugged me because that's my favorite series that I do. I feel like that's the one thing that I can genuinely call mine. No one else is doing that, and I just felt like I've just kind of dropped it. I've been really thinking up topics that I want y'all to be able to interact on, and you know, just trying to give y'all all the new types of stuff. But so far, y'all given me great feedback on that, and so with that being said, episode 6 of What's Dumber presents to you Final Stand versus Painkiller. Now, as far as this episode and the last episode, these four could have went any way. You could have seen either one of these go up against the other three, but this is just the way that I chose to do it. And man, it's just one thing about death streaks, and this is mainly most of the death streaks, other than like Juiced. Instead of giving the player that's having a bad game, or it's just a bad player, instead of giving them a boost, it gives them a handicap. And that handicap is used to overwhelm a lot of good players. Keep in mind, death streaks aren't like kill streaks. You don't get a guy calling out who's on death streaks. Now, you just gotta wonder that the next dude you run into hasn't died 6 times in a row. So when we talk about Final Stand, man, the reason why Final Stand is so, dumb to me is because it literally puts you in a position where there's no reason why you shouldn't get the kill. And that's just completely weighted too hard on the player that's not having a good game. There's no reason why I should lose my one off a Moab, maybe, or, just because someone can't get a kill in 6 tries, or however many tries it is before you drop in the Final Stand. Because basically, this is what Final Stand is most of the time. Because I know in Black Ops 2, it's a lot of back shots, way too many back shots. And that's another video that I want to talk about later. This is my second time bringing it up, but it's so many back shots. In Modern Warfare 3 and in Modern Warfare 2, you got a ton of face-to-face encounters. So a lot of times, as far as Final Stand is concerned, you will get a one-on-one. Both of y'all will shoot at each other. Both of y'all will lose a pretty good percentage of health. And then the second guy drops into Final Stand, okay? Now, he doesn't, there is nothing that stops him from continuing to shoot, okay? That's one advantage that person has. They have that small interval of time where while they're dropping in the Final Stand, they're completely invincible. And then you gotta think about this. The person who is shooting at the person that gone in the Final Stand, they now have to either A, begin shooting, because this person has to have the reaction time to realize, okay, he didn't drop into Final Stand. I mean, he didn't die. That's not why he's on the ground. He's on the ground because he's in Final Stand. So the player has to react to that, and then react by shooting instead of where the player originally was to where they are now. So you got that at least 1 second of that player saying, oh, you're not actually dead, you're in Final Stand. Then you got another second of that player saying, okay, let me start shooting at the ground now. How bad of a player do you have to be to not take either one of those clear seconds to continue to shoot the person who just sent you in the Final Stand? Because keep in mind, you don't have to stop shooting when you drop in the Final Stand. You can continue to light that person up. It's way too overpowered. the weight that you give the person who is dropping in the final stand, it's just simply far too much. It's not a boost, it is a handicap. And like I said, how bad of a player do you have to be to where once you drop in a final stand, you give another player 3 seconds to say, "Oh, you're in final stand? Oh, let me start shooting at you." And God forbid they be really close to you, like my encounters as a shotgunner, because then they have to take a couple of seconds, if not, at least 1 second, to take 2 steps back and then start aiming at you, because as soon as you drop down, you're just going to try to knife. And you can't keep shooting straight because there's nobody there. So it's a weird thing when people are going in the final stand, especially, depending on how close you are and all that other garbage, smooth reaction time and where they're shooting and that small interval of invincibility. It just sucks. And it sucks bad. But at the same time, Painkiller was horrible. Painkiller. The deal about Painkiller was it was strong. It was strong. It was illogical to me because pain doesn't kill you. Things kill you, and your body sends a message to you that says, you need to stop this. And that's what pain is. So, I mean, you can kill pain, but that doesn't mean you're going to not die from something. Painkiller was just bad, man. People took so many shots with Painkiller on. So many shots with Painkiller on. I remember, having starting off bad. And because I was good in Modern Warfare 2. I was good in that game. That's the one game that I will personally say I was good at. I remember I'd have a bad, start, and I'd go off and I'd die 2 or 3 times in a row. And the sole reason, and I ended up stopping using Painkiller midway through the life of Modern Warfare 2 because I realized just how bitchy it was. But when I was using it, I'd get my Painkiller on, and that small interval of time where I was pretty much invincible, I'd get like 5 kills and then go into like a chopper gunner streak. I mean, you could stick somebody, and that was the biggest thing. That was the biggest thing. If you had Painkiller on and you got stuck with a Semtex, it was like having Flak Jacket on. Matter of fact, no. If you stick somebody with a Semtex and they have Flak Jacket on, I think it still kills them. I don't know. Maybe I have to rewatch the Drifter video. But on numerous times, I would stick somebody with a Semtex and they'd had Painkiller on and they would just walk it off. It was so bad. It was just, oh man, Painkiller was terrible. But as far as taking it to what's dumber, Painkiller, man, at the end of the day, it's just some extra health. And if you got the accuracy right, if you're going for headshots or you're a certain distance, man, you're gonna be able to go ahead and get that kill. Final stand puts all of the advantage on the person who just dropped in the final stand. So as far as that is concerned, I'm gonna have to pick final stand for this one, y'all. Final stand is the dumbest death streak, and I don't know, maybe it's one of the dumbest things we'll see. And that kind of got me thinking. Right now I feel like Final Stand is the dumbest thing we've had on this show. But I feel like the goal of this show is to deem the dumbest thing that has ever been put into a Call of Duty game. So what I'm thinking of doing is something kind of like King of the Hill. Or maybe like on the next episode, I'll have 2 things on the next episode, which I've already predetermined what they are. I know what my next episode's going to be. But at the end of that episode, I'll say, now do you guys think that this is dumber than Final Stand? And if you guys say yes, then I'll bump that one up to the King of the Hill, and on the next episode I'll ask the winner of those 2 things if it's dumber than whatever y'all chose in the previous episode. Hell, as a matter of fact, go ahead and forget the fact that I picked Final Stand as the dumbest thing. If y'all feel like something else, if y'all feel like Painkiller is, then go ahead and leave that comment, and that'll be the King of the Hill in the next episode. We'll try to figure out if either one of the ones in the next episode are dumber than what y'all picked today. So I think this is a great way to interact with you guys. I really do. So please get in that comment box. Let me know your opinions because I think this is a way for me to get really close to my subscribers. So with that being said, the original Grown B is out, and I'll see y'all on the next one.